Hello and very warm welcome to the platform of Victory IAS. We are doing series on 2 years rapid revision current affairs, which will be helpful for your prelims 2026 examination. So let's discuss some issues related to industries, right? High net worth individuals and institutional investors. Institutional investors and high net worth individuals salvage the follow-on public offerings, as we are aware that when a company sends its share for the first time, then it is known as initial public offerings, and when it is again it comes up with their shares for trading purposes or for investment for investors to invest in the market, then it becomes follow on public offers, that is FPOs of Adani Enterprises Limited, ensuring the issues was subscribed 1.12 times, that means oversubscription, right? Who are institutional investor or qualified institutional investor? Yesterday we have seen about qualified institutional investors or qualified institutional buyers also. Commercial banks, mutual fund houses, public financial institution and foreign portfolio investors fall under this category. SEBI has mandated that qualified institutional investors cannot be allocated more than 50% of the shares, right? So basically trade should happen in the market, investors should invest in, and qualified institutional investors should not avail more than 50%. Individual investors or institutions, that is large trust, big companies and similar institutions who are willing to invest more than 2 lakh are categorized as high net worth individuals, right? So who are high net worth individual? Who are willing to invest more than 2 lakh rupees are known as what? High net worth individual. Follow on public offers, we have already seen process by which a company which is already listed in the stock exchange, when first time it is listed, it is known as initial public offering, that is IPO. When later period also it comes to sell their share, this is known as FPO. Issue new shares to the investor or existing shareholder, usually the promoters. FPO oversubscription is a condition when FPO receives more application from investors than the total number of shares offered, is also known as oversubscription. For example, Adani's FPO was oversubscribed 1.12 times, meaning there were 112 investors for 100 shares of the company, right? To understand this better. Now, International Seabed Authority has officially designated India as pioneer investor. Pioneer means in greenfield projects, in new projects, new kind of projects, right? On the visit of Secretary General of the International Seabed Authority to India, the government has said that the world today recognizes India's blue economy. India's blue economy means marine resources, right? The marine organisms, etc. And the International Seabed Authority has officially designated India as pioneer investor. Who is a pioneer investor? Early investment made in new sectors or technology. Example, polymetallic nodules at the ocean bed, right? So India's step for polymetallic nodules and blue economy. Recently, the International Seabed Authority and the Ministry of Earth Sciences also exchanged PMN, that is polymetallic nodules exploration extension contract, right? India is framing the blue economy policy framework, which aims to cover the coastal economy, tourism, marine fishery, deep sea mining, etc. As a part of deep ocean mission, India concluded the world's first locomotive trials of a deep sea mining system in the central Indian Ocean last year, right? Deep ocean mission, if we talk about, it would develop a manned submarine manned submersible, that is you might have seen in Bihar, there was the scheme of the government for submersible, so that carry 3 people at a depth of 6,000 meters in the ocean for exploring and then extracting minerals in the deep seabed. It also aims to explore marine biodiversity for the sustainable use of resources. It has recently been allocated 6,000 crore under budget of 23-24, right? This is related to OSmart and Sagarmala. Sagarmala we have already seen with respect to port development and all, right? Port development, sea waterways development, etc. Ministry of Earth Sciences has been conducting this polymetallic nodules exploration program through its nodal institute, National Institute of Ocean Technology, and other associated national issues. What is International Seabed Authority? So headquarter is in Jamaica, established in 1994, is an intergovernmental body of 167 member states and the European Union, established under 1982 United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas, that means UNCLOS, UNCLOS. United Nations Convention on the Law of the Seas. For example, you might have heard about this. This is the coastal area and 12 nautical miles. This is inland water, and then 200 nautical miles, etc. So these kind of boundaries that is designated is under UNCLOS only, UNCLOS. UNCLOS, also called as UNCLOS. It comes under United Nations Convention on Law of the Seas, that is UNCLOS, for monitoring and activities related to mineral resource in the deep sea. The international seabed is the area that lies beyond the limit of national jurisdiction and represents around 50% of total area of the world's jurisdiction, world's ocean, right? So for example, mainly it is related to international water, right? International water, the territory do not belong, or territory does not belong to any particular country, does not belong to any particular country, right? The status and proceeds of disinvestment. What is disinvestment? We have already seen. When government is selling its share, when government dilutes its shareholding, when government dilutes its shareholding, it is known as what? Disinvestment. Dilutes its shareholding, it is known as disinvestment. Now disinvestment is having many types there. Disinvestment is having many types, right? For example, one is related to less than 26%, right? Up to 26% of shareholding, if government is diluting, it is known as minority sale, right? It is known as minority sale. If 26 to 50%, it is known as strategic minority. Strategic, why it is known as strategic? Because maybe government is giving signal that government will be exiting from the market, because now government is diluting up to 50% of the shares. And one is government is selling entire unit, that is known as privatization. So privatization is a part of disinvestment, right? Privatization is one special case of disinvestment, that is disinvestment, right? So what happens when government is targeting disinvestment, and what will happen through to the proceeds of disinvestment? Whatever revenue government receive from disinvestment, so where government will be spending it, right? For example, when we talk about this budgeting process, revenue budget and capital budget, so proceeds of disinvestment will be part of capital receipts. Why part of capital receipts? Because you are receiving it by diluting your assets, right? You are selling your assets. Public sector enterprises and public sector undertakings are asset of the government. When government is selling these assets and receiving some money, that is known as capital receipts, right? The Indian government disinvestment target for 2023 and 24 is 51,000 crore, down 21% from the previous year, and the lowest target in 7 years. Status, if you see, the government has met its disinvestment target only 6 times in the last 3 decades. The last time the government met its target was 2018-19. In 21-22, the government missed its high target of 1.75 lakh crore by a significant margin. The planned privatization of Shipping Corporation of India, Container Corporation of India, and NMDC Steel are among the state-owned companies that will be divested in 23-24. When we see the word divested, it is similar to disinvestment. So having same meaning, disinvestment or divestment, right? Disinvestment or divestment. Definition: disinvestment refer to the sale of government assets or subsidiaries, right? This is what we have seen. Need for disinvestment: the government may disinvest to reduce fiscal burden, finance the fiscal deficit, or encourage private ownership of asset. But financing fiscal deficit, government will not be selling their firms or their assets, because that is similar to like you are selling your utensils at home to watch a movie. So that is not correct thing here when we say to meet the fiscal, to finance the fiscal deficit, right? But it may happen, there is a fear of it, right? It may happen that to finance the fiscal deficit, government may go for divestment, but that is not the thing that should happen ideally, right? Or encourage private ownership of asset, like government of India also has diluted or privatized this Air India, right, to sold to Tata Group of companies. Now, Madhya Pradesh Global Investor Summit. On January 11, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually inaugurate the 7th edition of Investment Madhya Pradesh Global Investor Summit, a flagship event of the Madhya Pradesh state government. Generally, these kind of news are not much important, because state related the summits are there. The theme of the 2-day summit is Madhya Pradesh, the future ready state, showcasing the state's industrial ecosystem and promoting its policies to attract investment and spur growth. The virtual event will also feature addresses from leaders of Guyana and Suriname, as well as India's commerce and industry ministers. Key objective of the summit are to showcase the industrial ecosystem, so that to attract investors. Basically, the idea of these summits are to attract investors. Madhya Pradesh promote the state policy, consult with industrial organization to formulate industry-friendly policies, provide opportunities for collaboration, and promote export potential through buyer-seller meets and vendor development. The event will bring together a diverse group of international delegates, buyers, industrialists, and representatives of various international industry associates and representatives of all G20 countries. Otherwise, these news are not much important with respect to our exam. A total of 447 international delegates from 84 countries, 401 international buyers, more than 5,000 industrialists, and representatives of various international industries association and representatives of all G20 countries will take part in the event. The summit provides an opportunity for participate and engage with the government and industry leaders, explore investment opportunities, and network with potential partners and clients. Right now, role of Prime Minister. The virtual inaugural address by the Prime Minister will set the tone of the summit and highlight the government's commitment to attracting investment and promoting economic growth in Madhya Pradesh. The participation of Guyana and Suriname president will also be indication of importance of this international community, places on opportunities available in the state. Right. This is related to Madhya Pradesh. Now, Gujarat and Rajasthan. Gujarat and Rajasthan emerge as top investment destination in India, right? Top investment destination in India. So let's see how what is happening in Gujarat and Rajasthan. According to data from the Center of Monitoring Indian Economy (CMI), Gujarat has surpassed all other Indian states, attracting new investment from both domestic as well as foreign corporation. Fresh investment worth approximately 4 trillion were announced for Gujarat during the financial year 2022, representing a 273% increase in over the financial year 2021 figure of 2.91 trillion. Rajasthan has also emerged. So Rajasthan, on the other hand, emerged as the second most attractive destination for investment in India financial year 2022. Interestingly, the state witnessed the highest rate of growth during the period, soaring to almost 535% and attracting new investment worth 2.37 trillion. Right, when we say 2.37 trillion rupees, trillion means lakh crore. Right, in Indian terms, we don't use trillion, rather we use lakh crore. Why Gujarat is an ideal investment destination? So first let's understand why Gujarat and then why Rajasthan. So why Gujarat? Gujarat is India's top industrial state in terms of manufacturing capacity. Like you might have seen about this Surat, etc. These areas are hub for manufacturing of textile also. So investment opportunities and operational special economic zone. So special economic zone having attractive policies with respect to manufacturing, having interest subvention schemes, a lot of exemptions on taxation, etc. So those things are there. Gujarat is the second largest producer of crude oil onshore, on the fourth largest producer of natural gas, and it hosts world largest petroleum refining hub at Jamnagar district, right? So petroleum refining hub, that means the refinement is taking place of the imported crude oil, and they are converting it into various petroleum products. One of them is synthetic rubber also, and these products are getting exported and they generate revenue also, right? Forex, they earn foreign exchange reserve also. Gujarat gross state domestic product, which reached 260 billion US dollar in financial year 2022 and showed a 7% year-on-year growth rate, is anticipated to reach 280 billion US dollar in financial year 2023. Gujarat has 42 ports, combining this major and minor both, comprising one major port and 41 non-major ports in terms of logistics and connectivity, right? Gujarat is an ideal investor destination due to its industrial and investment friendly policies, and one of the leading industrialized state in India. The state is recognized as an achiever among the coastal states by DPIIT, Department of Policy, Internal Trade, etc. in logistics ease, that is Leads 2022. Right now, there are 21 operational special economic zones with 26 SEZs having formal approvals, 8 notified special investment region, and 202 industrial derivatives in Gujarat. Now, Gujarat is a leader in chemical manufacturing also in India. The state has India's first petroleum, chemical and petrochemical investment region, and for the manufacturing of petroleum products, chemicals and petrochemicals, right? Gujarat is also producing a significant amount of green energy in comparison to 7,000 megawatt in financial year 2020. The state's operational capacity for producing electricity from wind energy sources currently stand 8,000 megawatt, right? To attract offshore financial market investors, India's first international financial service center, IFSC, we have already seen, has been set up at Gujarat International Finance Tech City, that is GIFT City in Gujarat. We have already discussed a lot of things about GIFT City in Gujarat. Now, why Rajasthan is an ideal investment destination? Because Rajasthan has emerged second in terms of investment. So let's understand. One of the main reasons Rajasthan attractiveness is investment destination is its strategic location. As India's largest state by area, it borders 5 other significant Indian states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, right? Around 40% of the Indian market is accessible through these states, bordering states, and is also act as vital transportation link between the northern Indian states and ports along Indian's western coast. This makes Rajasthan an ideal location. So that is about the kind of infrastructure, the kind of precise geographical location that the Rajasthan is having. Another factor that makes Rajasthan an attractive investment destination is skilled workforce, which has resulted in a large pool of skilled workers in various fields. This is particularly true for the service sector, which contributed around 45% of the state's gross value added at current prices in financial year 2021. So this is about Rajasthan. Also emerged also a major mineral producing state in India with 82 major and minor minerals. The state produces more minerals than any other state in India, with limestone, copper or silver, rock, phosphate and gypsum being the top commodities. The state has a diversified industry base with leading industries such as agri processing, automotive, IT and IT enabled services, petrochemicals, renewable energy and textiles. More than 100 automotive and auto component manufacturing units as well as about 850 factories in food processing sectors are located in the state. So that means industry Rajasthan is also having a good presence in terms of these minerals, chemicals, etc., right? Petrochemicals, renewable energy, etc. The state economic profile is also impressive, with its gross state domestic product reaching 11 trillion or approximately 12 trillion in financial year 2022, up from 11% or year on year. The state's per capita income was 1,35,000 during time. The economic growth has resulted in increase in investment in the state, with companies such as Adani investing in Rajasthan. According to data from Invest India, during the period from October 2019 to September 2022, Rajasthan received FDI inflows of 1.88 billion US dollar. This indicates the growing interest of foreign investors also in the state and petroleum and potential for further economic growth, right? So this is related to why Gujarat and Rajasthan has emerged as a good investing or good place for investors, right? Now, some controversies related to industry. So FCRA license, that is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Foreign Contribution Regulation Act mainly prohibits some kind of illegal transfer of money, etc., from foreign, that is in terms of investing, right? Investment having disguisedly shown as an investment, but maybe some illegal activities, the money has been accumulated from some illegal activities, etc. So the center suspended the FCRA license for the Center for Policy Research, this is CPR, following prima facie input regarding the violation of funding norms. Prima facie means now investigation has not carried out much, but on first way, by first sight and looking for the first time, it appears like it has happened. Now investigation will take place and we will see what has happened there. The government of India recognized CPR as not for profit society and contributes to the center are tax exempt according to its website, right? Now, CPR receives grants from the Indian Council of Social Sciences Research, ICSSR, and is a Department of Science and Technology recognized institute. Now, CPR receives grants from variety of domestic and international sources, including foundations, corporate philanthropy, governments, and multilateral agencies as well. The FCRA was enacted during, now the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act was enacted during the emergency in 1976 amidst apprehension that foreign powers were interfering in India's affairs by pumping money into the country through independent organization. The law sought to regulate foreign donations to individual and association, right? An amended FCRA was enacted in 2010 to consolidate the law on the utilization of foreign funds and to prohibit their use of any activities detrimental to the national interest. The law was amended again in 2020, giving the government tighter control and scrutiny over the receipt and utilization of foreign funds by NGOs. Now, FCRA requires every person or NGO seeking to receive foreign donations to be registered under this particular act, right? To open a bank account for the receipt of foreign funds in the State Bank of India, Delhi, and to utilize those funds only for the purpose of which they have been received and as stipulated in the Act. The Act prohibits the receipt of foreign funds by candidates for election, journalists for newspaper and media broadcasting companies, judges and government servants, members of the legislature and political parties and their office bearers and organization of a political nature. Now, how FCRA registration granted, right? So FTA registration are granted or individual and association that have definite cultural, economic, educational, religious and social programs. That is why most NGOs are registered under this who intend to raise fund from foreign countries, right? Now, Morgan Stanley Capital International, right? This global index, that is global index provider, that is this Morgan Stanley Capital International, has changed its weightage for 4 Adani Group stock. Is an investment research firm that provides stock index, portfolio risk and performance analytics and government tools to institutional investors and hedge funds. It is a leading provider for critical decision support tools, including stock indices and services for the global investment community. It has over 1,60,000 indices in its portfolio. It is owned by the multinational investment management and financial services company Morgan Stanley. Impact on India will be lower foreign investment because Adani Group belongs to India. MCSI indices are widely tracked by foreign portfolio investors, hedge funds and other sovereign. Hedge funds means the fund contributed by high net worth individuals, other foreign wealth funds which allocate funds to various markets. Now, Hindenburg report, it was there in the news, but as UPSC exam is considered, we don't find questions from these controversies mainly, but since it was there in the news, so let's understand. Hindenburg report on Adani Group. We have already seen Supreme Court called for protecting Indian investors from sudden market volatility. We have understood this, but let's understand. The Supreme Court asked SEBI and the government about existing regulatory framework in place to protect Indian middle class investors. We have already done this, right? This comes after Adani Group. We have seen number of small investors lost lakh of crores due to rapid market volatility following a collapse in the value of the shares of the Adani Group. This has happened. So, investor protection measures by the SEBI is Investor Education and Protection Fund, Investor Protection Fund, Investor Awareness Program, simplification of share transfer and allotment procedures, etc. Hindenburg research on Adani Group, right? Some fraudulent activities, etc. Were involved there. So, not much use, but some since it was there in the news. So, let's discuss some part of it, some aspects of it. The Hindenburg is a research company conducting financial research in different parts of the world. Hindenburg recently released its research report on world's third richest man and his business firm, that is Adani Group. According to the report, Adani was involved in fraud schemes and stock manipulation. The exact word used by the report is brazen stock manipulation. Brazen means without shame. Now, key findings of the report was the company did 2 years of rigorous investigation on Adani and his family members, right? But for us, family members are not important, but yes, some manipulation, if it was there, then we have to understand. According to the report, the Adani Group manipulated 218 billion US dollar in the stocks. The net worth of Adani is 120 billion US dollar, right? He accumulated 100 billion US dollar in the last 3 years alone. Most of the accumulated wealth come from stock price appreciation, right? Price stock he has purchased and now stock prices have gone up. So there is a kind of manipulation that they have alleged. 7 of the Adani company prices spiked 819% during the last 3 years. The reality is that these 7 companies that brought in stock hikes are actually in debt and liquidity pressure. Now family members are also there. Gautam Adani, his brother and other family members use tax havens. Tax havens means those places where tax rates are very low, and established shell companies. So they establish companies there because there the tax rates are low, so very low this corporate income tax has to be paid, and they show entire business from there. Hardly anything happens there, right? Rajesh Adani, the younger brother of Gautam Adani, was arrested twice. He created shell companies abroad, and the director of revenue intelligence accused him in 2004-5 of importing and exporting diamonds fraudulently using the shell companies. Shell companies of Adani in UAE, Maldives, Caribbean islands have earned them a profit of 7 billion US dollar. They use tax haven jurisdiction in these countries to fake their turnover. Vinod Adani, the elder brother of Gautam Adani, is said to own and operate entities in Singapore, UAE, but investigation of Hindenburg Research says that there are no operations in these entities. Shell companies were not operating in reality. Company fraudulently exposed itself as blooming in business. This increased stock prices of the group by 815% in a few months. After the research report released by the Hindenburg Financial Research Enterprise, the investor of Adani have lost more than 1 lakh crore rupees. Now the current scenario at that particular time, Adani Group released 413-page reply to the Hindenburg report. Adani accuses the research company to be unethical and the report is baseless. To this, Hindenburg responded that it has released only 30 pages of its evidence. The remaining 330 pages of court records have not yet been released. According to Hindenburg, the finance researcher holds evidence against irrelevant initiatives of Adani, misuse of female entrepreneurship benefits, etc. Now, Adani in stock market, if you want to look, Adani and its group companies lost 4 lakh crore rupees in just 2 days. The issue has entered politics as well. The Congress party is now questioning the close association of ruling government with the Adani group, right? Now let's not go into the controversy that it is there, right? It is, for us, it is not very important. Now, ICICI Videocon fraud and issue of corporate ethics. This Miss Chanda Kochar, right? Miss Chanda Kochar, she was uh, uh, looked upon by many female entrepreneurs, female business women, also basically female workforce, because she achieved she could break that glass ceiling effect, and she rose to a level of MD and CEO of ICICI Bank. But yes, controversy is there. Just few days after arrest of former MD and CEO of ICICI Bank, Ms. Chanda Kochar, and her husband Deepak Kochar, Videocon Group Chairman Venugopal Dhoot was arrested by the Central Bureau of Investigation (CBI) for his alleged involvement in the ICICI loan fraud case. What was the case about? So according to CBI, basically Ms. Chanda Kochar was the MD of ICICI Bank, and Videocon is was having some connection with her husband. So many loans was sanctioned, and despite having not much mortgage, etc., without mortgage. So several companies of Videocon group promoted by Dhoot have been sanctioned loans to the tune of 3,000 crore, 3,250 crore more precisely, by ICICI Bank in violation of the RBI guidelines, Banking Regulation Act, and credit policy of the bank as part of the quid pro quo. Quid pro quo means you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Dhoot allegedly invested 64 crore in New Power Renewables, a company owned by Deepak Kochar, through a circuitous route between 2010 and 12. Chanda Kochar was a member of the committee that cleared the loans to Dhoot, the CBI has alleged. According to the agency, Chanda Kochar abused her official position to sanction loan to Dhoot. Right? So corporate governance essentially involves balancing the interest of a company's many stakeholders, such as shareholders, senior management, executives, customers, suppliers, financiers, and government, and the community. Ethical issues with the corporate governance in India is conflict of the interest. Number one, the challenge of the managers potentially enriching themselves at the cost of shareholder. This is one. Weak board. This is second. Lack of diversity of experience and background represents a major area of weakness for the boards. Now, separation of ownership and management, this is also a problem. In the case of family run companies, the separation of ownership and management remains a key challenge. Remains a key challenge, right? And independent directors, right, which are not having any stake here. Now, suggesting to improve corporate governance in India. Recommendations of Uday Kotak. panel. First, let's understand this. Diverse board members, so that minimum 6 directors to be on the board of listed entities. Every listed entity to have at least one independent women director. Transparency, more transparency on the appointment of independent directors. To audit, the audit committee must review the use of loans. Robust risk management policies, effective governance infrastructure, evaluation of the board's performance, communication, that is facilitating shareholder communication with the board is key. Good example by corporates in India, for example Tata Group, right? Tata companies continually aspire to better ethics just as they are committed to better business practices. Philanthropic trust control over 66% of Tata holding, while the Tata family has a very small shareholdings. Now, 4 stakeholders are there: owners, employees, customer, and society. So, Gandhi's 7 sins also emphasize corporate governance and commerce without mortality, right? Without commerce, without morality, right? This is one thing. Now, some industrial reports are there. So, we will see some industrial reports in the next class. We'll stop here for today, and in the next video, we'll start from here, right? So, stay tuned to the channel of Victory IAS to receive more updates on current affairs. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.